TSPN is excited to announce Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. Focusing on the lives, experiences, and viewpoints of motherlode women, the show features a rotating cast of 4 women of all ages and from all walks of life. Quick, upbeat, and fast-paced with a variety of topics, this one-hour show will be aired live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. Tune in, it's Just Between Us.
Good morning and welcome to Just Between Us, a ladies' talk show, and we have a great time here. I'm here with the lovely Kathy. I'm Susie from Volcano.
And I'm Kathy from Buena Vista.
And we have our new lady today, Latasha.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
And are you local?
Yes.
Jackson?
I am now. I'm originally from Reading.
That a girl, so you came down here.
I did.
Well, good for you. And I want to point out that this lovely lady is Kathy's newest daughter-in-law.
Yes, she is. Yes,
so she's going to enlighten us on what she feels about these topics today. We want to say good morning to a lot of people out there. You want to say good morning to your hubby?
Hi, honey.
You can tell they've only been married less than a year. It's still honey. Go on, Kath. Give the old man a
Oh, he's
smile.
still a honey, too, after almost 50 years next year.
You're kidding.
Nope.
Oh, my.
Yep.
You guys don't look like you should be old enough to be married that long.
We're not.
Yeah. One of those junior high romances, huh? All right, we're going to do the first one. Latasha, I'm going to have you spin the, roll the dice.
All righty.
Kath?
Okay. 2.
Yep, 2. Okay, the first one, number 2.
All right. Can you tell a good friend when they are not acting appropriately?
Uh-huh, and the next one, give us another roll, Toots. Roll the dice.
Yep. All right.
4.
What political correctness issue should be given more attention?
Uh-huh.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, because we have 2 different generations here, so that'll be interesting. We're going to take a very, very short break, and when we come back, we're going to hit up these topics for you.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage.
Welcome back to Just Between Us, and we're going to get ready to discuss our first topic, and it's good friends. And Kathy?
Okay. Can you tell a good friend when they are not acting appropriately?
I don't know. Can you pull somebody aside and say, hey, cool it?
A good friend, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Me and my friends are pretty close, so we can talk to each other about anything.
Don't you think that's kind of your responsibility as a good friend to say, hey, you're really off base here? Can you do that, Kathy?
It depends on how good of friends they are. They've got to be really good friends. I mean, there's very few people I probably could do that to. I just, that's hard for me. Like, cut it out.
What the hell's on that
Now,
with you?
grandkids, not a problem.
Oh, no. That's what's
Kids,
fun.
not a problem.
Yeah. I think if it's your family, it's different, but a good friend. I think that her generation
we're pretty open and honest with each other.
Absolutely,
Yes.
and I appreciate that. I think that I think we were raised where you have to be a little bit more tactful and don't say a word to them because you don't want to offend them or they're going to come back and it's going to be all holy heck and everything else. But I think that the younger generation, I think that they're very open and honest. And I think that they would be able to, and of course it depends on the situation too.
That's true.
I mean, if they're really acting like a fool, wow, maybe you should say something. Or
Well, and then there's the variation of
situation.
appropriate.
Yeah.
What's appropriate?
Right.
Are we talking about table manners or are we talking about language?
I had a friend one time that was having lunch. All of us were out to lunch, and she had a few. She had too much touch of the grape, and started in and was getting loud. And I just said, "There's people looking," and I did that. And I thought after, I hope she wasn't offended. But then I don't want to be embarrassed by somebody else's behavior. So I thought, no, you know what? Everybody else was looking at me and going. So I thought, oh well, I guess it's up to me to say, shut up.
She might probably would appreciate that also because saved her from embarrassment also.
Yeah, it was getting to the point where it was getting too late. There were people looking, and especially when you're in a restaurant, because sometimes there are older people and sometimes there's children. And you as an adult should at least have the courtesy and the brains. I don't care if you're drinking or if you're sober. Watch what you say and do, because the walls have eyes.
Well, and then there's also, I was kind of raised topics not to bring up because, whether it's politics or religion.
Right.
Because a lot of times I'm on the other side of the fence. So it's like, how do you...
But you know what? But if you have a good friend that has a different point of view than you do, then that shouldn't make any difference. You should be able to say, you're more liberal, I'm more conservative, I'm Catholic, you're Lutheran, whatever. It shouldn't make any difference. You should be able to sit and talk. And I think that being more mature, I think a lot of times that we can sit and talk about things, and at her age, they don't care about those things. It's not as important.
Most of the time, yeah.
It's more important on, how did your day go? This is what I'm doing in business. The kids, you have like 50 million avenues that you're running around and taking care of business and whatever. Where at our age, being retired and more kicked back, we have time to devote to those topics. And can you get in hot water? Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Those are the two heated conversations usually.
And I find that a lot of times, sex was completely taboo. You never discuss sex.
Oh, no, that's
Where
true.
the younger generation, they're more open about it. And as long as it's done tastefully,
Yeah, we never talked about sex.
No, not at all.
Still do. Even in my generation, that's one thing we try not to talk about.
That's kind of the taboo.
Yeah.
But I've noticed a lot of people, there is no boundaries. They will talk about those type of issues and stuff. I don't like it myself personally. I don't think that it is. I think that if you're having a deep conversation and somebody brings up a situation, did you hear about this, or this Hollywood star did this, or got caught doing that, or whatever, you can voice your opinion. But your own personal experience or whatever, that's up to another individual. It's not up to me. And personally, I don't want to hear about somebody else's, situations and stuff. But like you said, Kathy, you have to know the deep friendship.
You'd have to have that respect of each other. If you don't have the respect of each other, then it's really...
Right.
Then it can go south on you.
Well, Tasha, you've seen where people have discussed religion, sex, politics, and it's broken up families.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
People in families. Yes. So it's something that you gotta kind of pussyfoot around, as they say.
That's one of the things that we've always, like, family gatherings usually. Don't start talking about religion or politics.
Right.
Sometimes it just doesn't go so well.
Right.
That's true.
It is.
Right. And everybody has a different personality and a flavor to their personality. And some people get extremely heated. Some people, like myself, I could care less what's going on. But that does happen. Anyway, Kathy.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go on to the next one.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is almost like being politically correct.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
What political correctness issue should be given more attention?
I think we've gotten too politically correct in a lot of avenues. I think common courtesy it should define. It should define. Don't cross over certain lines. Saying certain things like that old man Silver. Is that his name? Austin Silver, the one that said about he owns a basketball team.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I really thought that was
Donald Silver.
Yeah, but I thought that was all blown out of proportion.
I think some of it is, because when you hear all of the different recordings, thank God I didn't hear any I didn't hear any racial slurs, which is
I didn't either.
an A+.
I thought that's what they're saying. It's all about those.
Well, they are, but I didn't hear any.
I just think that he does not think before he says things, and maybe he's comfortable around all different types of races and religions, and he feels he can throw anything out because of his age or whatever, but I don't know. I just think that we have gotten to the point where we are so overly politically correct that every little thing that anybody says is misconstrued, and you're getting to the point where you're afraid to speak.
And then I look at we were watching NCIS Hawaii, or no, it's what's the one?
Hawaii 5-0?
Hawaii 5-0. And they used a racial slur in there against whites that I've heard in Hawaii, and I thought, isn't that interesting? They can use that word, on television, but we can't use these other words. And I don't like racism in any form.
I don't either.
You know, I think there's no place for it. But I thought, why do we allow, or I guess tolerate, not allow, why do we tolerate some words but not others?
Because I think that we have gotten to a point in society that there is no racism against white people.
But there is.
There is.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. But if you're Hawaiian and you come out and say, you know, basically saying you're a white person or whatever. Yes, I have heard people on different shows referring to white people as, you know, cracker or whatever. Okay, but you're not supposed to get riled up about that. Well, okay, fine. I mean, to me, it's a waste of time that you have to put a label on everybody's race or their religion or whatever. I mean, when I hear these people always say, you know, oh, they're doing that because the president's black, the president's black, the president's black. No, they're not. I don't see my president black. I see him as a president. Do I agree with everything he does? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make me a racist.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and let's be realistic here. His grandparents and his mother were Caucasian.
Oh, yeah.
And they raised him. Yeah. So, you know, let's give everybody a break here.
Mm-hmm. My husband heard something about this morning. We were watching news. He said, well, wouldn't that cut into the freedom of speech? I mean, he just said something, but now he's, fined.
$2 million. Yeah. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
Just for making a comment that I don't think he...
Well, his wife is...
I don't follow it real well, but...
His wife has made comments also, and about... I guess they have a lot of property, and they rent it out, and she made comments about certain people are not as... don't keep things up as other people do. And she mentioned the race, and it was like everybody went crazy. Well, you know, grant you, me being full-blooded Italian, and my grandparents came from Italy, and my father was the first one born here. His brother and sister were born in Italy, and my mother was the first generation born here. And my mother remembers people talking about them and you know, saying things, you know, slurs and stuff. And my mother would laugh it off. She goes, oh, for Pete's sake. She goes, life is too short to be so sensitive about something that is not important. Now, using certain other words is ugly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's just taboo. You just don't do that.
Well, I think it comes back to the humans, you know, part of our nature is we want to feel superior. I mean, I think that's just, and so that's a way of doing that, but it's not, until you finally realize that wait a minute, where is that coming from? Is that coming from being survival skills that's back in our DNA or whatever? But, yep.
Well, because I think that at a time, because a lot of people felt that way.
Right.
You know, and that's wrong, because we are all created equal.
Our blood types are all the same. I mean,
thank you.
No matter what.
Thank you. And when you get cut, you all bleed blood.
And it's all red.
And it's red. So I think that people need to get over that. Okay, we're going to move on. And Latasha, I'm going to have you roll the dice again, honey, and tell mother-in-law dear.
Number
okay. Let's see here. All right, let's give you these two.
Okay. All right.
Got a free-for-all?
Got a free-for-all. And then we have number 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Do you participate in activities that your man or friend enjoy, but you don't like that much?
And she looks at me.
Guess who's taking this next one? And then we've got a free-for-all, which we will come up with at the break. So I want to say good morning to Mr. and Mrs. Perez out there this morning, my dear friends. I have another Martha Perez that I adore. She lives down in Martinez, so I have Martha and Ray Perez and their beautiful family. I want to say good morning to them, and we want to take a short break and then come back and hit you up with these two topics.
Intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. Between Us.
But we said at the little
Welcome
bar.
back to Just Between Us, and we're ready to do our first topic, and it is having fun, Kathy.
Yes. Do you participate in activities that your man or friend enjoy, but you don't like that much?
What do you think, Tasha? So I guess it's asking, do you
I
go
do.
along with the flow and think, what the heck, my best friend enjoys this, or my hubby enjoys this, so I'm going to do it?
I find myself doing that a lot, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wait.
Just because I want to be with the company of being with them, so I choose a lot of, there's other things I'd rather do, but I'll go
Give
participate.
her 2 more years.
Get out of that. And then I'll just do what I want.
There you go.
Well, I find myself, my husband has pushed me all these years out of my comfort zones on many, many things.
Great.
Well, I've ended up paying the price at times, but...
But see, I think that's
yeah.
fun, because you go with the flow.
Well, because I'm like Tasha, I wanted to be with him, but I mean, we have done lots, and he goes with, I love the ocean. So he's gone along with me to the ocean, and
See, that's great.
So they both make.
Yeah. But he's had me on skis and motorcycles and all things that I probably wouldn't have done.
She
on
does
my
a lot
own.
of things she'd rather not do.
Or I was afraid to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm not because of just,
I think it's
his
a lot of
pushing.
fun. I think it shows that you take interest in that person, whether it's your mate or it's your best friend or family member. You think enough of them that you're going to, skydiving is out at this age, but...
I don't know.
all right, I'll watch. But, to be pushed out of my comfort zone, I think that the older I get, the little bit more I hold back more than I normally would.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that, I know my limitations now.
Yeah.
Getting out of bed is a struggle, and without.
And I feel if they're doing something for you, then it's okay to step out of your comfort zone and do something that you wouldn't want to do.
What would be one thing then that you would really be stepping out of your comfort zone and to do with your hubby?
Oh wow. I don't know. We do a lot of the same things, but a lot sporting events every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like sports?
I do.
Yeah.
I do like sports, but
See, I'm a sport nut, so mine had to. He really had to get into it. Now he loves it because I'm just a fanatic on sports. I love sports. One thing that you wouldn't want to do, but you would give it a shot.
That's
Don't
a
bring-
good question. That is a good question. I'm not real sure at this point because both of us, we don't do the daredevil stuff that we used to do.
Oh, of course
You know,
not. And
I
you guys grew up together.
We did, yeah. And so we did a lot of stuff. We used to sail. We had a sailboat, and we loved it. And so a couple years ago, we decided, you know what, that was a lot of fun. Let's do this again. So we bought a sailboat, right?
Good for you.
Well,
And where did it sink?
it did not sink at all. It hadn't even gotten in the water. We thought, okay, let's see if we can get the mast up and get it all the sails trimmed, and if everything's working right.
Okay, Natasha, I want you to get the hose. Put them in the boat.
Okay,
Say, see how much fun this is?
I'll tell you what, that mast was such a struggle to get up.
I bet.
Oh, it was huge. And then when we finally got it up, and we realized that all of the outrigging and stuff wasn't right, and so we had to redo everything. Had to get a what did they call that? Block and tackle to get it back down right.
no.
So
Oh
it didn't.
my gosh.
So then we thought, okay, this is not going to work.
Canoes are fun.
Well, we
Kath.
got to.
I know what I did. Mine was fishing, actually, going when we went salmon fishing.
Yeah.
That was one of the things. I just wanted to get it over with.
Yeah.
You didn't enjoy it.
Not really, It was fun, but the ocean's too big. I wasn't comfortable about it, but
Oh,
I
really?
still did it because Brett really wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I'm glad the fish we were catching them fast because we weren't out there very long. And I was fine with that.
I know. You're looking for them and saying, hurry up, eat that.
Everybody get one. Yay!
Yeah.
Let's go. Hurry up, let's go back.
Let's go. Hook them and let them go. Let's go. Yeah, there are a lot of things, like I say, I think that when you get older, unless you're really comfortable, that you don't want to go outside, the realm. Because we were thinking about, my husband was thinking, maybe we should get a motorcycle and ride and stuff. And I said, no. No. We're at the age now, we're in our late 60s, and you know what? It's just not appealing anymore. We've got grandchildren, and, you get smacked. That's it.
Oh, well, I did go. This was, what is it? Friends. Well, I went with my other son and his family and Chase, my other grandson. We went to Six Flags.
Oh,
And I went on some rides that I'm like, not sure about, but the grandkids were like, come on, Grandma, come on, Grandma. And so when we went on the ride with the water one,
Yes.
this is about a month ago.
Oh.
Okay, so.
Go on, Grandma.
Oh,
Yeah.
they shoot you at the end with the water.
Oh, shoot me. They shoot me. We were in this tub. It was like this. They went under a waterfall, and nobody got wet but me. And the waterfall came down, went under my hair and down my sweatshirt. Soaked me. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do? So the swings that they spin you out on the swing?
Right.
I thought, I'll get spun dry. So I went on.
Can't I give you credit, my love?
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of fun.
I won't go on that ride.
I went on
just won't
the those teacups when I went with the girls were tiny. I was so darn sick. So my daughter calls me for Disney. She goes, "Oh, Mom, I'm so sick." I said, "What's the matter?" The kids got me on the tea ride. I go, "Good." Now you know. Okay, we're going to hit our first free-for-all. We're going to talk about education and continuing education. And Tasha, that's you. That's Austin is graduating from high school. He's going to be moving on to going to further his education. Tommy is here. He's going to be staying with us this summer for the summer break. So we're going to have a lot of fun. So I believe in continuing education, and my hat's off to you, kiddo.
Yeah, I definitely believe in it. I still am going. I'm continuing in education
Wonderful.
at this time.
Wonderful.
So, and I push that towards my son also. He's got an AA degree in personal training in the police academy. He gets out in like 3 weeks, but I keep telling him, keep furthering your education because I think that you need it
Absolutely.
in this day and age. The
You
more
bet.
education, the better options because there's so many people out there trying to get the good jobs. So.
I went to college at night with my daughter.
Did you really?
Yeah, we went together. I didn't graduate. Work on too much, but I took a lot of classes. I went for a couple years, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, one thing that, I went to is it called, I can't even remember, Amador County Community College. Are they fun? I can't remember what their acronym is now. But I really believe that I would love to see Amador County have a community college.
Oh, me too. Believe me, I would go. Even if they took one of the high schools or the junior high and offered 4 or 5 night classes, I definitely would go and further my education, go back to school.
They do have continuing education and classes here through the colleges. And they're up in Health and Human Services building, and then also at the Transit building.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if anybody is interested, they can call the schools and get the schedule and that whole thing.
Well,
go
anymore,
online.
when you're going to
Yeah.
get a job, it's all about your experience and education. So any classes, everything helps.
Well, not only that, it keeps your mind sharp.
Yes.
I'm always learning something new or doing something.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Fun.
You get stale if you don't.
Yeah.
You really have to, and just that interaction.
Oh,
with other
that's
people.
what's great, and it's fun. My daughter and I had so much fun together. We did homework together. We did everything, and it was really a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it.
And my son and I took classes together too. It was fun.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it was a lot of fun.
and you just you understand what they're going through as a young person, and making this step forward. And then I find myself personally, I found that I enjoyed going when I was older because I was serious about it.
Right.
And
Well,
I
it's something you're
devoted-
choosing to do instead of being forced
Being
to do
forced
it.
to
so
do.
it's
Right.
a different.
So that really made a very, very big difference. But I know that a lot of people, they don't realize today that even if the avenue that you're going to take in life, I don't need to do that. I don't need to have that. Just do it for yourself. I mean, gosh.
Well, there's so many opportunities here in the county, really.
Well, I
there
do
really
online.
is.
I mean, I'm
You do
doing
absolutely.
mostly online classes because with having the nail salon, and then I can still continue my education at home. And
that's what's
they
nice
offer a lot
because
of classes.
because you're working and you're doing your nail salon here, which you've just opened.
Yeah.
And what is the name of it?
It's the Nail Hut.
Well, very good.
Yeah.
And what's your number?
It is 530-351-4907.
Well, good. So the nail hut, so people
nail
can.
hut?
Yeah, you'll have to show your
Oh, yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
Lots of nails.
Not only a pretty, look at her pretty ring.
He loves me.
Yeah, well, yes. Yes, he does. But I think that that's so important, coming from two women that have been retired. I've been retired a lot longer than your mom here, your mother-in-law. But I do miss. I liked the stress of my job. I liked the hustle and the bustle. I liked the continued, the education and the dealing with people and whatever. And I worked in San Francisco, so I had a variety. It was, and taking BART every day and coming back and the whole big thing. I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. It was so much fun. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. So we're going to talk about now about picking two new topics and going to a short break and coming back and discussing those. Okay. So our last one is, we have another free-for-all, and we also have having fun.
Yes, we do.
And, Kath, go ahead and roll the dice. Number 6.
2. Oh, that's the one that we just, that's the one we just talked about.
Yes.
Okay, do you participate in activities your man or friend enjoy but you don't like so much?
Okay.
So we need another one.
So we're done with that.
Yeah.
We're done with
Boy, that time went by fast on the... Huh?
Oh, we need a new topic. Okay.
2 new topics.
All right.
So we're going to do another free-for-all.
Okay, oh, here it is.
And then we're going to talk about yesterday.
Okay. All right. What family value from the past do you feel we have forgotten and need to give it more attention?
Ah, very good. And then we're going to do another free-for-all for you, so please stay with us and we'll be right back.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage.
She's on the
Welcome back to Just Between Us. I'm Susie from Volcano.
I'm Kathy from Buena Vista.
I'm Latasha from Jackson.
There you go, kiddo. So we're going to discuss yesterday.
Okie dokie.
And you're going to tell us which one that you chose.
It was, what family values from the past do you feel we have forgotten and need to give more attention?
I think being a family unit and more respect. Children and parents have it's like they want a friendship more than a parenting.
I think it has come a lot to that. I've seen that where my parents were never my friend. I mean, I love my parents, but they were my parents. And I feel like there was a shift because with my children, I was a parent, but I also really enjoyed their company, but I don't know whether I was ever their friend.
Well, I mean, it's like one of these situations like you see in the store a lot. You see a kid acting up, okay, now we would have never thought of that. My kids would have never thought of that. But you're hurting Mommy's feelings. No, you want to hurt feelings? Get in that dressing room. I'll show you her feelings. That's what I tell my grandson.
Yeah.
You want to go with Noni in the cart? Yeah, I'd rather go with you, Noni. Okay, you see that dressing room? Don't make me take you in there. Okay, he'd go. He knew. I mean, he was a perfect little angel. But I think that we have gotten away from who's the head of the family and the respect for family.
The levels definitely gone down. I've seen a lot of...
Weren't you afraid of doing something wrong?
Yes. Yeah, but it wasn't from physical abuse at all.
Oh, no.
Nothing physical.
No, it was disappointing.
Well,
your parents.
That and loss of privileges.
Yeah, and hurting them and knowing that you've let yourself down, number one. But I've seen... Now, you're different. You're like my daughter. You're different because you will not hesitate to come down on your kids, right?
No.
There you go.
No, I've always been very opinionated, and my son got a lot of privileges taken away. I took everything out of his room once. He had to earn it back.
Good for you.
By getting better grades, by behaving better. I had his teachers sign notes every day and send them home if he had good, proper behavior.
But you're a responsible parent.
Yes. But a lot of the parents today, I think, by society, are scared to be parents. They just want to be their children's friends, which is causing a lot of kids to misbehave.
Yeah. It's okay to be your child's friend as long as you're the parent first.
Yeah. You're a parent. You're there to give guidance. That's what being a parent is.
My son-in-law Paul says, "I'm your friend. We'll have fun together, but I'm your father first." And I think that's important to remember, and and having that respect. I've heard kids talk to their parents that, I wouldn't have had a tooth in my head.
Oh, wow.
If I would have spoken to my parents like that.
I see a shift too. I mean, for me, where my mother was always my mother, she was not my friend.
Right.
But now, as I'm older,
and I talk to her every day, we've developed a friendship.
Which is the way it should be.
But I'm trying to remember at what age that transition took place.
You were probably a mother or a grandmother yourself.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was at least a mother.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's when it changes. Another thing that I'd like to see the family bring back is a family night where they go out. I knew this couple that I worked with, and, her. And she said that every Wednesday night there was nothing planned. It was pizza night, and they would go out without fail. It was pizza night. I don't care if they had to delay it until from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. That's what they did, and they never broke that tradition. And I think that that's very important to have something that is a family unit. No friends were allowed.
Right.
Just the four or five of them, and obviously the electronic things got to go at the table.
Yeah. Well, I know Chad, my other son. He and his family always had a game night. There was one night during the week that they'd sit down and they'd turn off the television and they'd play board games. Or
Jason and I would have movie night, so we had we'd pick a movie, have dinner, watch a movie together.
And you were a single parent for years?
Yes.
Yeah, so was I. So it was, and I think that brings you closer to a certain extent in while you're figuring everything out and going through everything. But I do feel that it's extremely important that I think the family unit has to get back.
Well, I think sitting down to dinner together. You know, when my kids were growing up, we always sat at the table for dinner together. That was just something we always did. And then in the high school, when Eric was on assignment somewhere else, I started having the boys pick a meal. Say, okay, they had to pick the menu.
And how nice.
And so then I'd buy the food, and then they'd cook it. So like one would have one night, one would the other, and
that's being responsible, because there's a lot of kids that go out in the world. I was one of them that didn't know how to cook, because my mother was the type, don't come in my kitchen
they don't
and
have
get it
home
dirty.
ec anymore. They don't teach.
No.
I mean, and a lot of the kids, I feel nowadays, I mean, they don't get taught how to. Everything's done for them, and they expect that.
Right,
they actually don't expect to have to do
and
chores. They don't
there's fast
contribute
food
to the
2 or 3
family.
times a week, which that's I mean,
whole.
I totally get it. I don't know how mothers and fathers today raising a family do it with all of the softball, the baseball, the football,
it's
the
crazy.
music lessons,
It's crazy.
the soccer, and both of them work. I see both my son-in-law and my daughter and all their other friends are doing that, especially the softball thing. You know, the girls there's practice, there's 2 games a week, and these people give, and they forget about themselves. Sometimes I look at my daughter and I want to say, no, don't go buy anything for anybody else. Go and buy something for yourself. You know, and I think that they have sacrificed more than what we had to, because they didn't have all the sports for the girls and things of that nature. So I do feel that the family, the complexion of the family has changed, but you'd like to see some of the old stuff thrown back in. So we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about our last free-for-all, and that's the New York Times editor, the female, said that she felt that she should be getting equal pay for what she did, and her contention is that she was fired because they didn't want to pay her. Now, I don't know all the details, so I might misspeak here or whatever, but I think basically the gist of all of this was equal pay regardless of gender if you're doing the same job. Now, I heard her personality was much, much different than some of the people that have preceded her, some of the men. They would go out on the floor, and they would stop by and talk to people at their desk, and they would do things where she would just walk through and, not mingle or get in and talk to the people underneath her.
But was that part of the job description? I mean, is that something
that's a
she
good
would have
point.
had to do?
I believe that. I think with any job, when you get in a supervisory position, I think that you should do things of that nature. I think it's important because it shows that you care about your workers and that you're just not going to walk through with your briefcase and
they're not just a
don't
number.
Look at me, like Diana Ross. I don't want nobody talking to me or looking at me while I'm getting ready and before I go out on stage. There's a lot of people in show business that don't look at me and don't talk to me. well, la-di-da. You know, and there are some people, I've worked with people like that when they got to a certain goal, it was like, I don't have time for you now, and whatever. Where the word was that she had maybe a little bit of that attitude, but that should not reflect.
That shouldn't be a reason. I mean, if she lost her job, I mean,
that's her contention. She lost her job
because of that. Well, I don't understand this, because they always have to give you a reason.
Documentation. And warnings and reasons.
Exactly. I mean, there's a whole process.
So I feel that people are jumping the gun on this situation because they don't know what her work ethic was.
Or what her documentation was.
Right.
You know, were they building a case against her? I mean,
there's a lot of unknowns, and the news will only tell you so much. I mean,
it's what they want to highlight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
but now I do,
blown out of
as far as equal pay for gender specific, that would be wonderful. I mean, it would. I would love to see women have equal rights. You know, what they get paid 70%. On a national average of what men for the same.
Well, in this day and age, why wouldn't? I mean, wouldn't
it
that fall in some category for lawsuits?
If you had to go in for a surgical procedure, and there was a male surgeon and a female surgeon, and they both had the same success rate, should she not get paid the same as the male surgeon?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, well, you know, and the other thing is do you realize that, you know, the number one killer of women is heart disease?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if you look at the amount of money of research that has been spent on research for heart disease, it's all male-oriented.
I'll be darned.
And that women have different symptoms, and that's why so many women die, other than men, is because the symptoms aren't out there.
For instance, go to a clothing store. Women's clothes cost more, and more cleaning bills are higher for women's clothing than it is for men's clothing.
So there's a lot of, you know, we're not there, gals. We're not there on the equality. It's still not there.
No, I think if you've if you have gone out and paid for your education, and I believe that if you can do the same job as a man, then I feel that you should get the same pay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Are there positions out there where I think that women can't do the job as well as a man? I'm going to tell you, I do feel that in certain areas, women don't have the physical strength. However, there's different ways to compensate and to do things. I mean, the three of us, it would be hard for us to pick up a 200-pound man and take him out of a burning building or whatever.
Exactly.
But you can take him and drag him.
Right.
And ask, you know, and you know, that's when we were first making those barriers. Because I know when I put a uniform on and a gun on, you know, a woman no bigger than her.
That's right, yeah.
And even though I wasn't full-time, I was a reserve, I knew what my job was. My job was to go out there and to protect that police officer. He was my brother or my sister, and that was my job. And to bring, you know, to protect and serve my community. It had nothing to do. You know, I could shoot and miss. I'll unload it and throw it at you, but I'm going to get... We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with our hot topic.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. Just Between Us.
Welcome back to Just Between Us, and we have our hot topic for the day. And ladies, it is the Veterans Administration, the scandal and things that I say scandal, the kerfuffle that's going on now with the list of people that it depends on the degree of what is ailing you and different things of that nature. And there's a list of who's getting treatment before others, even though they've come in after.
Does it have to do with triage, kind of like this is more, what do I say, more of a serious problem than someone else, so they just keep getting bumped down?
Well, there's been over 100 and some odd deaths because they didn't get the treatment that they needed.
Well, everybody that goes and comes home should get equal treatment. And, I mean, yeah, of course, one case is going to be more severe than others, but they should all be getting treatment. I mean, they went over and fought for our country, so why? I don't agree with the list.
Don't you feel too that, okay, if you can't do it here at the Veterans Administration and you're backed up or whatever, why don't they let them go over to another hospital and have get their treatment and let them do there? The government's throwing out money like crazy about trying to find out the sex of a duck and things like that. Why don't you give that money to another hospital and treat maybe 200-300 of your veterans, of the men and women that come back and that they need this? Why should a veteran have to wait for a prosthesis or treatment for a lung disease or something that has happened to them?
Yeah,
I like that.
Their own
I really like that idea,
position.
Susie. I wonder whether it's been even discussed, at the VA, whether
I'm sure it has, but
to outsource to other hospitals if they're so overbooked or understaffed or whatever it is that they can't treat.
I mean, a lot of people come from foreign countries. They don't have, they're here, they're visiting here, or they're staying here for a while, and they don't have any medical coverage. They can walk in a hospital and get medical coverage, and nothing is said. So why don't you take care of the people who have went out and gave a part of their lives and time from their lives to our armed forces and serve our country?
It's interesting. I guess the report's supposed to come out in a couple weeks that they were going to go around to all of the VA hospitals to see whether it's systemic throughout the system or whether it's just certain hospitals in populated areas, because there's VA hospital in Wyoming that they I don't know that they would have the same issue as one in San Francisco or whatever the hospitals are.
And I'm sure they're dancing as fast as they can. I mean, let's face it, they're not wanting people to die.
No.
But when you have them coming out and more people are coming forward and saying my loved one died due to the fact that they kept putting them off, well, that life's important.
Well, and I was a former military spouse, and I was able to I didn't have to go to a VA hospital. I could choose my physician.
See?
So I don't understand why they wouldn't be able to choose an outside physician and get treatment.
I think it's very, very important.
That makes no sense.
I mean,
I just don't have enough information really.
I don't know that much about it, but it doesn't sound
My father was in the Veterans Hospital when he was dying with cancer, and they did a beautiful job taking care of him. They were very, very good. So would his treatment have been different if he was at a private hospital or whatever? That I don't know. And we're going back many, many years, but all of this stuff is coming out now. And yesterday I'm watching some of the hearings. It was like, I don't know. And you should know. That's what you're getting paid for. You should have people from every hospital that send you a written report. I don't care if it's 2 sentences on what the heck's going on in their hospital and what they need and what they don't need and what they can get rid of. And, hey, I've got 20 patients that need prosthesis. I need 2 or 3 that are going to have amputation. You should have the best doctors, the best equipment, and everything for these people.
Well, isn't part of the issue now there's a shortage of doctors?
Yes.
Okay, and then the other issue now is they're trying to elevate the ability of what a person can do if they're a physician assistant. Isn't that supposed to happen?
I believe so.
So I'm wondering if part of the issue is that there's just not enough staff that has the credentials to do what needs to be done. Is that... I just don't...
Again, then outsource. If you can't help a man or a woman that has come back, or is a veteran, and you don't have that resource there, then by gosh, it's your responsibility to go out and find it and treat that.
Well, they have no problem helping people that are, say, on the welfare system or in the prisons that really, these people went and earned the right to get taken care of.
What about that kid that was in the military? And now we're paying for his sex change. He was the one that went and spilled his guts about all this stuff.
I didn't hear about it.
Okay, he was a gentleman, and by God, if he's more comfortable being transgender, that is his prerogative, and God bless him, and do what you got to do. I have nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong. But taxpayers' money is paying for him to become changing from a male to a female. We're paying for that. Well, shouldn't that money go? Couldn't they just reassign his sexuality later down the road and get something for somebody who needs it right away. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. And now back to Just Between Us.
Welcome. We got onto that one.
Welcome back to Just Between Us. You can reach us at 223-4877 or 223-4866 if you want to fax us. Or if you want to email us, it's bookme@tspntv.com. And Tasha, thank you so much for being with
thank
us
you.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Nice meeting you.
And please come back again.
I will do.
That's great. You have a lovely daughter-in-law. You were blessed.
Thank you. I
And
have
you got a great mother-in-law.
Yes,
She
I
was-
did.
Oh,
she's a good lady.
I have
Yes, I
been
did.
blessed with a great family.
Yes, yes, you have, and you're
you.
very, very blessed in many, many ways. And good luck to your son.
Yes.
I'm
Yes, I
anxious-
can't wait.
I'm anxious.
Getting excited.
I know it's going to be so much fun for him, and you'll be in the background just twiddling your thumbs and thinking,
Oh, I know. I'll be wondering every day.
And good luck with your education and
Thank you.
and your nail. Let us know where you can have your nails done again.
At the Nail Hut
The nail
on
hut.
Jackson Gate Road, yes.
Great. And the number?
530-351-4907.
There you go. And boy, I'll tell you, you
Thank
did
you.
a nice job on your stinky pinkies there.
Oh, yeah. You can't see those.
Kathy's all decked out in
Oh,
turquoise
yeah.
today. You look. Go on, girl. You look good.
Oh, thank you.
Boy, I'm telling you, she's
Summer's in the air.
summer's in the air.
It
She
is.
looks absolutely fantastic. So, Kathy, you enjoying your retirement life with all your children and grandkids?
Yes and no. It's like I'm trying not to be hovering.
But that's what we do at grandmas do that.
That's true.
That's our
true.
job.
Yeah.
We get to hover now.
And so now I'm looking at, okay, when do the Harlem Globetrotters come in? Because I keep thinking of things I can take the kids to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they'd love that.
They are so much
We're
fun.
done?
Say goodbye.
Bye!
We got busy talking. Bye.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Okay.